Welcome to today's video. We will be discussing one of the largest industrial disasters in the history of the world, the Bhopal Gas Tragedy. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy took place on December 3, 1984, in the Indian city of Bhopal, and it resulted in the death of thousands of people and caused long-lasting health problems for hundreds of thousands more. In this video, we will discuss the events leading up to the disaster itself, and its aftermath, as well as the ongoing impact of the disaster on the people of Bhopal. The Bhopal Gas Tragedy was caused by a leak of toxic gas from a pesticide plant owned by Union Carbide India Limited, UCIL, which was a subsidiary of Union Carbide Corporation, an American multinational chemical company. The plant was located in the heart of Bhopal, a city of over 1 million people, and it was responsible for producing a variety of pesticides for use in agriculture. The plant was built in the early 1970s, and by the early 1980s, it was facing significant problems. The plant was poorly maintained, safety procedures were often ignored, and there were inadequate measures in place to prevent the release of toxic chemicals into the environment. In addition, the plant was located in a densely populated area, which meant that any accident or release of toxic chemicals could have a significant impact on the health and safety of the local population. The disaster took place on the night of December 3, 1984. A highly toxic gas called methyl isocyanate, MIC, leaked from the plant and spread throughout the city of Bhopal. The gas was released from a storage tank that had been damaged due to a lack of proper maintenance and was not equipped with adequate safety features. The gas cloud spread quickly, and within hours, people in the surrounding areas began to experience symptoms such as coughing, eye irritation, and difficulty breathing. By the next morning, thousands of people had died, and hundreds of thousands more were suffering from the effects of the toxic gas exposure. The aftermath of the disaster was devastating. The death toll is estimated to be between 15,000 and 20,000 people, and hundreds of thousands more were affected by long-lasting health problems, including respiratory problems, blindness, and birth defects. In addition to the human toll, the disaster had a significant impact on the environment. The toxic gas contaminated the water supply and the soil, and it is estimated that the environmental damage caused by the disaster will have long-lasting effects for generations to come. The response to the disaster was slow and inadequate. Union Carbide initially denied responsibility for the disaster, but eventually, the company agreed to pay $470 million in compensation to the victims of the disaster. However, many people felt that the compensation was inadequate and that Union Carbide should have done more to help the victims of the disaster. In 1989, Union Carbide Corporation was purchased by Dow Chemical Company, which did not assume responsibility for the disaster. To this day, the people of Bhopal are still fighting for justice and compensation for the damage caused by the disaster. The impact of the Bhopal gas tragedy is still being felt today, over 37 years after the disaster occurred. The people of Bhopal are still suffering from the long-lasting health effects of the disaster, and the contaminated soil and water continue to impact the health of the local population. In addition, the environmental damage caused by the disaster has had a significant impact on the local ecosystem and wildlife. Despite the efforts of the local community and environmental groups, the cleanup of the contaminated site has been slow and inadequate. In 2010, the Indian government announced a $100 million cleanup plan, but the progress has been slow, and many people feel that the government and corporations involved should do more to address the ongoing impact of the disaster. In conclusion, the Bhopal gas tragedy was a devastating disaster that had a profound impact on the people of Bhopal and the surrounding areas. The disaster was caused by a lack of proper maintenance, inadequate safety procedures, and a disregard for the well-being of the local population. The response to the disaster was slow and inadequate, and the people of Bhopal are still fighting for justice and compensation for the damage caused by the disaster. The ongoing impact of the disaster continues to impact the health and well-being of the local population and the environment. The Bhopal gas tragedy serves as a reminder of the importance of industrial safety and the need for corporations to take responsibility for their actions. It also highlights the need for governments to hold corporations accountable and to ensure that the interests of local communities are protected. The people of Bhopal continue to fight for justice, and it is our hope that this video will bring attention to their ongoing struggle and the ongoing impact of the Bhopal gas tragedy. Thank you for watching, and please feel free to share this video and spread awareness about the Bhopal gas tragedy.